Hello, everybody. Good to see you today. Hi, Belinda. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm loving the spring energy coming through in this
Yeah.
hemisphere. So lovely to see everyone here.
Appreciate you joining us today. Um, for those that have been tracking our emails, you may have noticed a small change in how we're talking about gratitude circles. This week, we talked about self care, shared connection, and synchronicity. And it was we just changed one word from social connection to shared connection. But as Belinda and I have been invited and asked to share our gratitude circles with more and more organizations and leadership groups and networks, we realize it's not so much just about the idea of social, particularly nowadays with social media as kind of the familiarity to that word, but it's really about finding common ground and that shared connection. And so for us, the self care is so critical because it's hard to show up for others if you're not taking care of you. But part of taking care of you is so that you can show up for others and find that common ground, but in ways that doesn't require you fixing, saving, or advising them. And then when we can take care of ourselves, show up in our relationships in a healthier way, we really then open ourselves up to that synchronicity, that beautiful coincidence. And I think part of the reminder, and this is what I love about Belinda's gratitude blooming cards, is that it's rooted in nature. And nature reminds us that the only way to grow is to grow together. Nothing grows in isolation. Everything kind of grows as part of something. And when we grow as part of something, we kind of know that blooming is possible. Right? And so this idea of renewal and growth and grounded in nature. And so it's really been exciting to kind of see the gratitude circles just grow in lots of different ways. I think last Friday we launched our Healing for the Healers campaign at 10 hospitals. And if you were following us on Instagram, you saw just like a ton of posts of nurses dancing and really just that positive vibe and energy. Brian Vasquez, who's been our sort of producer extraordinary every week, has been on Clubhouse hosting a gratitude circle with he and his wife. And so whether it's just a circle of two connecting to whole healthcare systems or just even this weekly space on Thursdays, it's just been exciting to see how self-care, shared connection, and synchronicity just really opens up life in a beautiful way. So if you're new, welcome and really appreciate you being here. Belinda is going to invite us into a meditation.
We like to start with the tradition of just getting present in the moment with some breathing and some grounding, just to really arrive and open our hearts to what's possible in this space. So I encourage you all to just get a little bit more comfortable and just be aware of how your body feels today. Our bodies are such beautiful centers for intelligence and wisdom. So just take a moment to connect in with your body and just allow yourself to get a little bit more comfortable, whether it's just, more grounding in your tailbone with how you're sitting, or shaking out your neck and shoulders where there's tension. So let's just take that moment for ourselves to just arrive in this space. And let's just take some deep breaths to just acknowledge our presence in this space. Imagining beautiful golden light coming in from the center of the earth as we are in spring now. And breathing in, receiving that beautiful energy of a new time and a new day. And with your exhale, breathing out, purifying your body and releasing any stress or tension, any feelings you want to let go of in this time. Breathing in golden energy, energizing us and our bodies. And releasing. One more breath, breathing in. And release. Let's imagine a beautiful golden seed at the center of the earth that's coming in from the bottom of our feet and traveling all the way up to our hearts today. This is a gift from Mother Earth to each and every one of us this spring. And just imagine that golden seed resting delicately in your heart today. And as you breathe, focus your energy and attention in your heart for this time. Breathing in, feeling an opening in your heart, an expansion. Breathing out anything that you want to let go of in your heart today. And as you breathe, imagine this golden seed from Mother Earth slowly starting to grow and expand into your heart. Slowly imagine the seed turning into a flower. What is that flower in your heart today? Breathing in, imagining those petals expanding out in your heart. Releasing to detoxify the soil, the energy around you. Just imagining that beautiful flower expanding and growing in your heart. And just really imagining the beauty of that flower. Just noticing the colors of those petals, how it might feel as it's blooming. And the expansion of the stem as it grows. Maybe even noticing what smell it might have. Just allow all of the senses to enjoy this beautiful blooming of your heart. Breathing in, expanding into the beauty of your heart. Releasing, letting anything go that doesn't need to belong here right now. And just absorb the beauty that's within you and your heart. And let that flower be a reminder of hope in your life. Is there an area of your life or within you that needs a little bit more hope today? Imagine this flower bringing more hope to that part of you. As you breathe, expanding and opening yourself up to receiving that hope. And just taking one more round of breath to send our gratitude to ourselves today for being here. And gratitude for the earth, for all the beauty and life that's created from the earth. And for this next round of breath, let's imagine sending this flower out into the world in this beautiful circle, releasing that hope to our community, to the world. Just imagining all of our flowers floating up in the sky and just spreading hope everywhere, that everyone that needs it today, receiving that feeling of hope. And imagining those petals of our flowers floating down from the sky and just falling back onto the earth. Beautiful colors, fragrance of those petals coming down back into the earth. And just know that anytime you need to feel hope, you can connect back to this flower that lives in your heart. Take one more deep breath as you slowly transition from this inner space to our circle. And just remember that in this space, you are your best teacher and guide. And so there's really no need to fix, save, or advise anyone else in this space. This place is just for you to receive and share your story. And in this circle, we're going to also allow silence to be a powerful participant with us. And as you transition, also just be mindful of how you want to participate today. If it's through observation and presence, or through the journal and the chat, or to practice sharing your voice. All these different ways are invited in the space for you. So yeah, take a time to now transition to the circle. Just noticing the people here and receiving the wisdom and synchronicity of the gratitude blooming cards that we will experience together.
Thank you, Belinda. It was beautiful. And so now we get to pull a gratitude blooming card. I feel like we should create a drum roll for this, only just because I feel like it deserves sort of anticipation, just because it's so fun to see what the cards reveal. Orchid mystery. Can you embrace the unknown and be grateful for the mysteries in life? And when you look at the card, it could be the image, something about the orchid itself, the word mystery, or the prompt. So whatever speaks to you, the practices around the noticing.
I just wanted to hear and get this really peaceful vibe because I'm driving into downtown LA on the 110 freeway, and it's not terrible, but it's full. And as I'm looking at this, I love orchids. I have orchids all around me at home. And the color purple on this particular drawing, I'm reading this book called The Secret Lives of Color. And I just read about the color purple, which is often associated with like nobility and mystery. And I was fascinated because, there's, no matter how many things we think we've encountered in our life, the mystery never ends. And it's like when we deal with the known and the unknown and the whole idea of change, right? Like most people really resist change because it's unknown, it's kind of scary. And the purple represents a kind of quality that has to do with the story around it is around the fact that it's a very difficult color to make, and a lot of sacrifice has to go in to making the color purple. It doesn't exactly reside in blue or in red. It's some combination, and there are many gradations of purple, what we would call purple. And so to be able to embrace this particular color with understanding that so much was given to create this experience of this color was something I just wanted to share. And I love also the color purple. So that's my thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. And I appreciate you demonstrating gratitude on the go. I mean, this is how easy gratitude is. That's why I love gratitude.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Let's see.
Oh, the chamomile. Oh that's my favorite too.
Oh, patience. Some of the most important lessons in life require space and time to grow. What is your relationship with time? How can time be your teacher? Does anything come up for you, Kimby, on this one that you'd like to share?
Well, I have chamomile tea all the time with my sister, and it makes me in peace. And with my relationship with my sister, we've been getting closer together. She's been teaching me a lot of different things about different teas. I'm very grateful for that. That's what I think about chamomile.
Denise?
These two are going hand in hand for me because I have felt very restless today, and it was frustrating at first, and then I took a minute to look at the restlessness and embrace it, and realize it's like a calm, not before a storm, but before a next. And we haven't had any calm for the last year and some, and there's now a moment of opportunity to have a little calm. And it's like, oh, okay. And then once I looked at it and sat with it for just a little bit, there was all kinds of positive opportunity or affiliation or association that came with it for me. So it was really nice to stop and look and listen to it for a minute and then embrace the patience I'm going to need to see how it evolves. So these two are very synergistic for me today.
I'll share. I feel like every time I see this card, I'm like, oh man, the universe is talking to me again. like it's such a, my relationship with time is so challenging. Like I lose track of time very easily. I tend to like always run late because I'm like, feel like there is no real sense of time in the world. It just can be kind of free flowing. But then when it comes to the things that I'm really passionate about in my work, there's so much mystery in terms of how things are going to unfold. And I find myself sometimes responding to the uncertainty with a lot of impatience, like just wanting the clarity or the resolution to like happen sooner. And it is kind of like drinking chamomile tea before bed. Like, how can I be more calm and relaxed about my relationship with time without forcing or pushing time to be anything different than what it is? And yeah, maybe for me, the lesson here is like, approach the mystery with patience and let it bloom at its own pace. I'm seeing the plants coming out of the ground around me, and it's like they're just doing it at their own pace. They're not trying to like rush the flower to come out. So I think that's the lesson right now for spring. It's just like, let it just flow at its own pace. It's all gonna be good.
This one is also, I've shared, I think before, that 6 years ago, I went on a silent retreat. And at the end of 6 days, I got to talk to this monk. And all I could tell him was, in that silence, all I felt was impatient. And he just laughed at me and said that the root word for impatience in Latin is patis, which means to suffer. And I was like, gee, thanks. Great feedback. But time has been a great teacher for me, because I've learned subsequently that part of why I was impatient is because I was afraid. I was letting fear rule my sense of time. And the fear was not being in control. And so it was really my desire to sort of try to control outcomes, to not sort of appreciate the mystery of things and let things unfold, but try to predetermine how I wanted everything to go. And as I've been able to acknowledge that fear, let go of some of the need for control, then time has not been something to suffer. Instead, it's something, maybe time is actually something I can savor. And so I just, like you savor a chamomile tea. You don't rush it. the joy of chamomile isn't getting to the bottom of the cup, but really just actually appreciating that moment of pause. And I'm tasting like a little bit of honey, because I always add honey to my chamomile, and not too much, just like a little bit of sweetness. And just maybe that's it, a little bit of sweetness savored can go a long way.
Omar, I absolutely needed to hear this. I have been suffering with impatience my entire life, and I never saw the connection between impatience and fear. it's magical that I got to hear your words today. Thank you.
Patience, we've been speaking about a cup of tea. Patience is a virtue and mystery in life of the unknown. And to be able to take the time, like life, we let things marinate, like a cup of tea steeps, pour the tea. We step through life one step at a time into the unknown.
So I was thinking about just sort of the internal pressure that makes me impatient, or the external pressure sometimes that makes me impatient, like expectations maybe that I have of myself or that other people have of me, that makes, and how sometimes I'll get sort of that fear or impatience, but it's coming from outside of me. I don't know how to describe it, but and then I even think about it, like I'm just thinking about right now with one of my children, high schooler. I'm trying to be patient and give him the time that he needs to like mature, right? And be ready for life and graduate from high school, and I want to be patient and give him space. But it's like the world is pushing him and pushing us and making us fit into this timeline. And so I have moments where I push back and go, you know what? My kid needs space and time, and I need to build in patience. Like I need to be more patient with this process. But then I feel like I'm not doing what I should do. And I get impatient with myself, or I get impatient with him. And I'm like, no, we have to be on the world's schedule. Like you got to accomplish this by this. You got to, I don't know. This card brings up a lot of like, I want to be patient with myself, with him, with life. But I feel this societal pressure to like meet certain timelines and deadlines and I don't know, expectations. And maybe that's the fear piece. I think that's why it came up, was when Omar mentioned this fear. And so maybe my impatience always arises when I start letting the external world kind of make me feel fearful, and then I flow to impatience instead of I just have these really nice moments too where I can just feel patient and sort of open and accepting, and like every flower blooms at its own time. Like I wish there was just a little bit more space for that. And I'm a teacher in school, and in life, for everybody to just bloom at their own time.
I am delighted to pick cards. I'm feeling the fourth row and third card. I don't remember. You guys shuffle this deck, Melinda.
Trisha's card
one
again.
of the most consistent cards we pull. I don't know what it is, but peony, healing. Taking the time to heal yourself is an expression of gratitude for this one wild and precious life you've been given. How can you support your own healing?
I love that. I feel like healing for me is something that I'm always trying to figure out, and things come up that I feel like I've healed from, and it's in a new stage and version of my life. And I had to realize that it's not something that, like a finish line that I'm going to get to. When I'm finished healing, I'm going to pass over to a different life. Healing is going to be consistent throughout this entire lifespan. And that's just something that I have to continue to remind myself, because sometimes it can be a little upsetting when you feel like you haven't healed from past things, or just when you think about all the healing you still have left to do. But it doesn't have to be in that way. I think when you see healing as a consistent thing, life is a healing and feeling process. then it comes a little more easy for you. Not necessarily easy, but open maybe. That's just my thoughts on the card with healing in time.
Oh, I guess I'll share. It is, the peony seems to follow me, and taking time to heal myself and express my gratitude for this group and the time that we've spent together as through this last year, and all the healing that I've been doing and healing work and helping to heal others. And healing to help support in healing, and getting ready for more tests. It's always more fun. The unknown and the mystery behind this growth of the chamomile, of the being, I lost my words, patient in healing, being patient in healing with my body. Thank you.
I'm just really struck by the three themes together. I mean, every week is so different based on which cards show up, and patience, mystery, and healing. There's like a certain level of timelessness of all of them. Like it's just like this ongoing cycle of life, spiral of life. And, you know, all three kind of dance in that spiral. And I think what I'm gonna take away from it for my own healing and is just how to just fully embrace that this is why I'm here and this is what I'm here to learn, is to fully embrace time and mystery and healing as like a, you know, there's no destination, there's no end point. It's just the process, the journey of life. So just feeling a lot of gratitude for these three cards together.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. We know that this circle is an invitation to a new kind of bravery. If you get my email every week, you see that I write that because I know that asking folks to be vulnerable in community is no small ask, but I also know that it's an accelerator for healing. That when we do this work together and we know that we're not alone, we can bloom brighter, more beautiful, and faster. Not that given we got the patience card, it's about speed. But, you know, it helps us learn maybe a little bit faster. And even if some of the lessons take a little bit of time, to know that we have other people on the journey with us is comforting as well.
And we hope to see you again next Thursday. So thank you all for being here.